Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's Mitchell now to kick off the drive. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. And Nick Bosa so quick on the outside. He gets in there to bring him down. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. This is brought in at the 21. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, you know, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
You don't see too many quarterbacks coming up with hits like that in the running game. He announced his presence right there and knocked it back for a loss.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Deebo Samuel, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Yellow, 22.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Well, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Niners are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down. Lance looking to throw it. Now into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Hand off here to Walker. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football. He's taken down. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. And that is no good. No good. Wide to the left. And this will stay at a 7-point game. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on 4th down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
They'll start with a run by Mitchell. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Steps away to his left. He rifles one that's intercepted. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And the Seahawksans are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
They're watching the film, and it's working. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. They'll look to throw here. Man open. It's Goodwin. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be second down. The Seahawks are 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business. Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down. Here's a 2nd and 7. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Riley Harrison. And the 49ers are going to take over here up near the 40. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They fake the handoff. Now Lance. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Lance. Forced out to his left. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Around the NFL, a game going on in Washington. And it's Washington out to an early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Well, Charles, the NFL record is 66 yards. That was 5 shy of that, but only a handful of guys have ever connected from 61 or deeper, and he can add his name to the list.
Yeah, more and more guys are trying it. That doesn't mean the success rate has gone up. That is a long kick. Guaranteed, when he turns on his phone after the game, a ton of congratulatory texts will be awaiting him.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Sticking with Walker on second down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. He'll look to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Javon Kinlaw able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up fourth down. On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. First and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go. They'll run the screen with Mitchell. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Looking to throw again on second down. Lance. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Steps away. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
They gave it a shot with a deep pass, but it wasn't going to work there. And now there's less time for them to try and get 3 before the half. Let's see what they dial up on this next snap.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it will be first and 10 as they take over. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Niners are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. George Kittle, the receiver that he was looking for, and it's 3rd and 4.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Here's Lance. Completes it to Samuel. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Field goal unit not out there. They want 6 before halftime. And they're out of timeouts, remember, so this is going to have to be a delay. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
They'll give it up to the big man Walker. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On play action, they'll throw. Being chased out left. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
They'll try and throw for it here. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Throwing now is Lance. Flushed out right. Letting one go deep for the end zone. That's caught by Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great play there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Niners are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Lance going to try to throw for this. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
2nd and 3. He'll find Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 12 more yards there and another first down. They'll look to throw again. That swung out wide to Sanders. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that will bring up second down. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And a solid run down inside the 30. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now for the 1st and goal.
Over the middle, it's complete. Touchdown! Marquise Goodwin, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. And it's no good. He pushed it wide left, and our score will remain right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
On 3rd and long, it's Lance. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. But such a costly interception, nearly a pick-6, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
Again, Walker. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Carpet, a fumble, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Well, you had an offense working with a comfortable 2-score lead here in the third quarter, and certainly doesn't feel as comfortable now following the turnover.
Yeah, you're right about that, because now the nerves start to come into play a little bit. You're a little bit jangled. You don't want to give your opponents any avenues to get back into the game.
And my goodness, another interception. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Tackled by Isaiah Simmons. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Lance going to try and throw on third down here. Flush to his right. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a first down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way, because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Now Lance. And this heads straight to the sideline. I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, they won't. Here comes the flag. We saw it, too. Nobody in the vicinity of that throw, and that earns him the penalty.
Yeah, you got to at least get it close enough to one of your own guys in order to dodge the penalty.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call. On 3rd down, here's Mitchell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This from 54 yards away. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. But there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these guys, it's been a while since they've been out there going full speed, so they've got to get everyone back out there, run a couple of your go-to plays, make sure you get your offense oiled up a little bit. They've got to be able to start fast, but they've got to be efficient as well.
Especially the quarterback. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Going right back to Fant. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. They're going to look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Goodwin able to haul it in. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Walker will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
And he's going to have a Niners first down as he gets this up past the 30 to the 32.
Well, they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think as a running back in this spot, you have to understand there's not going to be a whole lot of room to run. And in this case, ball protection takes precedent over trying to make something happen.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
He's going to let it fly. He's got a man complete. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, 91 yards. And the Seahawks use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the fourth. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his second season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Here's Lance. Screenplay setting it up for Mitchell. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Lance looking to throw. Buying time to his left. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Desperation time here. Lance dancing to his left. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear that the Seahawks are going to win this football game. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized. You know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Straight ahead, Walker. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And they take a knee. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And, Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for the Seahawks, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week as Washington comes to town. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be back home next week for a date with the New York Jets. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Thank you.